So are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So first of all, very good morning team. And if you remember yesterday we had discussed about the standard input and output in Python that whereas in standard input and output in Python where we are discuss about how can we format the output, okay, as per our convenience by using the format option or whatever it may be. That is the very first one we discussed. Thereafter, we went for the input function. So whereas in the input function, the if we give the input, so it will ask us to enter the some value. Okay, that is what input function exactly. Thereafter, uh, we learnt about the operators. So whereas in the operators, we are having the multiple number of operators, which includes like uh, arithmetic operators, whereas in the arithmetic operators, which uh, having the which will perform the some of the mathematical operations like addition, subtraction, and multiplication. Similarly, whereas in the comparison operators, w- we are trying to compare the respective values, okay, by using the operators like less than, greater than, and equal to, not equal to, less than equal to, greater than equal to. By using these comparators, we are trying to get to know the comparison between the two values, and it will be returning the statement either true or false based upon the function or logic. And thereafter, we have the logical operators. Where in logical operators, we are having the three operators. One is the and, or, and not operations. When it comes to and operation, if there are any multiple condition, if all the conditions are satisfied, then only the and operator will return the true. If not, it will return the output as a false. When it comes to the or operator, so any one of the condition is true, then it will return that then it will return true. If all the conditions are false, then only it will return the false. And when it comes to not, so it simply convert the given output into a reverse. If it is a true, then it will convert into a false. This is some of the logical operators. So when it comes to bitwise operators, if our data was in the format of binary, at that time we'll be going for the bitwise operators. And so where in bitwise we are having multiple like and or XOR and not and etc. When it comes to assignment operators, so after assigning some value to the variable, so in order to uh, do any arithmetic operation itself, then we'll be going for the assignment operators or something like that. And identify operators. So wherein identify operators, we are having the is and is not. So for example, if we are having the two variables of the same memory location, then at the time we'll be using is, and by using is condition, we'll be trying to check out that whether the given variable is pointing out to the same memory or location of the other variable. If it is pointing to the same memory location, it will be returning true, if not false. When it comes to the membership operators, where in membership operators we are having the in and not in. So it's nothing but in order to check whether any element is present in the list of elements or tuple of elements. So at that time we'll be going for in condition, where in condition we'll be checking whether the element was present in the a group of elements, maybe that comes under the list or tuple or whatever it may be. So if it is present, then it will be returning the true. These are about the standard input and output in Python, and also the operators. So this is what exactly what we had discussed yesterday. So when it comes to the very next topic, so whereas this time we'll be going to learn about the some of the control flow statements. And so when it comes to the if a control flow in Python. Control flow is nothing but which allows you to execute different blocks of code based upon our certain conditions. This is what control flow. So in order to perform this type of operations, so we'll be using like if, else, and elif. These are some of the uh, control flow statements in Python, control flow in the Python. So as I told you that when it comes to control flow allows you to execute different blocks of code in based upon a certain condition. Like if you see the basic syntax, so we are having the if condition. So under the, of course, from the basic syntax, you'll be getting to know that it follows an in a indentation. Okay. So if you see the flow chart, from the flow chart, we'll be getting to know that if the condition one means if the condition one is S, then it will be going to the block one. No, if not, no, then it will be going to the other condition. And if the condition is S, then it will be going to the block two. If not, finally it will be going to else, where in the else we'll be having the block three. Similarly, basic syntax. So initially we used to have the if condition, where in the if condition, we'll be having one condition, and if the condition is matching, so then the respective if condition block would be going to be executed, and if condition is not true, then it will be going for the elif condition. If the elif condition is true, then the elif condition will be going to be uh, executed, or it will be true. uh, if it is not true, then finally it will go into the else condition. So where an else, so the irrespective of the block, it will be going to execute. And when it comes to example, the simple if, so for example, here my x is a variable as having the value of 10, and my if condition is x greater than 5, as x equal 10, 10 greater than 5, as the condition is true, then I'll be able to print the respective block of the if condition, that is the x is greater than 5. Similarly, if else, so here equal to 3, and if x greater than 5, nothing but x equal to 3, 3 greater than 5. It is a false condition. So as this condition is uh, false, then obviously it will be going for the next condition, that is else condition. Where in else condition, so what are the block of code is there? It is printing x is not greater than 5. Similarly, if elif else. So as I told you that, so here my x is a variable having the value of 5, where in the very first step I am checking in the if condition, if x greater than 5, here my x equal to 5, nothing but it is the this condition is not going to be satisfied, and this block of code will be not executed. Thereafter we'll be going for elif condition, where in elif condition we'll be checking the x equal to 5, and here the elif condition is satisfying, and this block of code is executing. So this is how if else condition is uh, if else and elif condition will be that is how we are using in our Python code. We have multiple examples here. And one more thing, so when I'm saying the syntax, so if you see if, elif, and else, in generally if condition would be a single time, and of course the block of when comes to the block of if condition, generally if will be only once, and elif is also generally once, else also would be generally once. But comes to elif, we can have the multiple conditions here. Okay, so I want to show you one example for that. So see here, here we are having the if only one condition, but elif will be having the multiple condition as per our convenience. And finally, we'll be using the else condition. So based upon our convenience or based upon our programming logic, whatever it may be, we'll be using the if else condition. And also we have nested if. Nested if nothing but, so the if condition is presenting within the if condition. So if say here x is my variable is having a value of 10. If x greater than 0, of course my x is greater than 0. Why? Because 10 greater than 0. This condition has been satisfied, and it going for the next condition. If x underscore 2 double equal to 0. Okay, then print x is positive and even. Of course, 10 is a positive. Of course, you know that. So you know the condition for the even generally. The condition for the even is if x modulus of 2 double equal to 0, then it would be even. If not, x modulus of 2 double equal to 1, it would be a odd number. So this is a simple condition for the even and odd. And as discussed yesterday, so these are the if and else conditions that we'll be going to use in our Python code implementation. You may have a doubt where we'll be going to use this if and else condition. In generally, I'll be going to give a one example. So if you take a banking sector, like so generally, if anyone from the banking field, if anyone want to give a loan to you, so they will be obviously checking your credit score. Okay, at the time of giving a credit score, so there will be uh, implementing a simple logic saying that if the credit score greater than 750, please approve the loan. Elif Elif credit score uh, uh, greater than 750, greater than 650, greater than or equal to 650, less than or equal to 750, please check the related documents. Elif credit score greater than equal to 550 and less than or equal to 650, please help to check the document and also the verification. Else, okay, else don't approve the loan. This is how we'll be using the if conditions in the banking sector or the necessary fields domains. I think you understand the if else condition. Any doubts?
No.
So this is as we discussed yesterday when comes to the for loop. So when comes to the for loop, so generally we'll be using a for loop in order to uh, iterate a sequence of elements. Okay, so when I'm saying iterating a sequence of elements, let's take we are having the list. So list is nothing but a list of elements which are enclosed in a square brackets separated by a comma. Simply tuple, it will be separated by a comma having list of elements which was including the small brackets. So these are some of them. For example, if I want to do a sequential iteration over the list or the tuple, so at the time I will be going for the for loop. In generally, so for loop also follows some basic syntax like for variable in sequence, and this after that will following the indentation it will be having the block of code. So if you're asking me about the float chart of the for loop, so in test based, and we generally we start the for loop and check next item in SQL if next item is presenting SQL or not. If yes, then we'll be executing the block, and if no, then the complete statement will be going to be ended. So will show you an example. So see here fruits is a variable is having an some list means elements in a list apple, banana, and cherry. So here I'm simply writing a for loop. Fruits is in my variable, which I was declared already, having a list of elements apple, banana, and cherry. And of course, on the below the for loop, so following the basic syntax of indentation and the block of code, that is a print of fruit. So what it will be printing, it will be printing in the iterative sequence, iterative over a sequence. Okay, na? So we'll show you how. See here, apple, banana, cherry. Simply what I am checking for fruit in fruits. Like fruit is nothing but, of course, fruits is having the apple, banana, and cherry. So while I am doing the for loop, so it will be printing the iterative sequence of elements in a list. That is apple, banana, cherry. This is a basic example for the for loop. And here I have taken the list of elements uh, as my variable. And this is one simple example. And also we are having one more example, that is using range. See here, for I in range of 5. In generally, if you see anything in Python, okay, the Python, if you want to count anything from the starting onwards, so it may be index or whatever it may be, it follows from the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Okay, and the last element would be, for example, see here, I'll be going to here n, and n equal to 5. But in generally, it would be 4 only. 0 to 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It means the we'll be having the complete 5 numbers. Okay. If I go to for I in range of 4, obviously my 5 would be 4. Now it will be going to print 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So when comes to range, range is nothing but the what is the range of the number. So based on the range of the number, it will be going to print the values or whatever it may be. Okay. Sorry. Huh. And also I can give you one more thing. Control A, controls. For example, let's take this example. So here what I'm going to take, let's A equal to length of fruits, and for I in A, what it will print exactly now? Generally, what it will print. So as whereas list is having some of the basic functions. So one of it is length. Length means nothing but it is trying to find out the length of the fruits. So fruits is a variable, and having the list of elements. Here my list of elements are 3, and so that now it will be going to print 0, 1, 2. Okay, 0, 1, 2. So as we are not able to print, as we are not able to loop the integer object directly, so we are assigning the range here, and this is how when comes to the nested for loop. So as we discussed in the if and else condition, whereas in if and condition, we are using the uh, sub condition in the if condition. Okay, if under the if, there's a nested if when comes to nested for loop. Similarly, whereas in the for I in the range of 1 comma 4, under this we are also executing the for j in range of 1 comma 4. This is what exactly nested for loop. So there are some of the scenarios. So we need to check each and every element in the above and below case. At the time, we'll be going by the nested for loop. And if you simply here, what I was trying to do here, I was trying to multiply. Uh, here I'm trying to multiply the list of values from 1 to 4. That is 0, 1, 1, 2, 3 elements with the 1, 2, 3. See here, 1 is there. Thereafter, I'm multiplying this 1 with this 1. Okay, and after that, I'll be going to multiply with the 2, and thereafter I'll be going to multiply with the 3. This is what exactly happened. 1 into 1 equal to 1 into 2 equal to 1 into 3 equal to 3. After this was executed, then we'll be going for the 2. So at the time, similarly, 2 is my main function now, main value. Now I'm going to multiply 2 with this values. 2 into 1, 2 into 2, 2 into 3. Similarly, where in above range, we'll be having the 3. So, and we'll be going to multiply this 3 value with this the below range. So this is how we'll be using a nested for loop in some of the scenarios. And one more thing, looping through a dictionary. So when I'm saying looping through a dictionary, as I told you the last class, dictionary is nothing but it is a key value pair. So whereas in the dictionary we'll be having the key value pairs. Here my key is nothing but name, and alias is my value. Similarly, age is my key, that is my value. If I'm going to do the same for loop, okay. So here for key comma value in persons dot items. So if you print the key and value, so what it will print? It will print the name and value, age and 30. Why? Because key is my name, value is my alias, key is my age, value is my 30. So this is how I'm going to iterate the key and values in the dictionary by using the for loop. So this is one of the general example, simple example. So that is what one thing. And if you ask me about any one of the example, so how we'll be using the for loop uh, to check the what do you say list of prime numbers which are there in the range of 10 to 20. So this is a simple line of code. So where in the line of code we'll be trying to check the prime numbers from range of 10 to 20. Okay, so what I am doing here in generally, what is a prime number? Prime number is a let me show you what exactly prime number. Try to so anyone could you please explain what is the prime number? I will let you know that.
Which is divided by 1 and itself.
Exactly, super. So prime number is nothing but which will be going to divide by one and itself. So that is what exactly prime number. So so if you see here, here for I in range of 2 comma 1, 2 comma num. So of course, generally prime number starts with the 2. The minimum prime numbers means the minimum value in the prime numbers is 2. So that is the reason I was excluding the 2 comma num for num in range of 10 comma 20. Here what it would be, the range would be from 10 to 20. It would be iterate between 10 to 20. And to iterate the factors of the number, so for I in the range of respective value, okay, like 2 comma what we have 10, and from 2 comma 10 I'll be going to check if num modulus I double equal to 0. This condition is nothing but just now what you told now. The value will be going to divide by 1 or itself. Here I will be going to check this condition whether this condition will be going to satisfy. Then I can say that the satisfied condition would be a prime number. That is what exactly. And finally, if everything goes smooth, and I'll be making as a break statement. Okay, see here, 10 initially I was printing all the statements. The very first time the 10 value is I'm entering, and whereas 10 is nothing but if I multiply uh, percentage d, num is my 2, and I, this is I nothing but the, sorry, num is nothing but 10, and initially I nothing but 2, and j equal to num by 5. So if I divide 10 by 2, then what would be the j value? J value will be 5. So in generally, so as we know that, so prime number will be going to divide by 1 and itself. But here I am able to divide it with 5 and 2. So it is not a prime number. So similarly, this is how I will be going to do the, this is how I will be going to check the prime number condition generally. So what we are going to do, we are going to check each and every value, the range with the given values, that is from 2 comma num. Like for example, after 10 it will be going for the 11. So here 2 comma 11 would be there. I will be checking 11 with the 2 comma 11's range. From that, what I will be going to know, from that I will be going to know that whether 11 is a prime number or not. I will be checking itself, like with the given numbers I will be checking. So whether the respective number is a prime number or not. So this is a very simple prime number code. Are you fine with this or need have more explanation?
Fine, sir.
So just to have things like we're in the general prime number, this is the general prime number condition. Like if anyone asks you about this, if anyone asks about the prime number condition, you can say that. So if the number is modulus of double equal to 0, you can go for the, of course, I is nothing but itself. So if it is double equal 0, then it is a prime number condition. And generally, if number, okay, a modulus of 2 double equal to 0, it would be the even number. And if the number modulus of 2 double equal to 1, it would be the odd number. These are general conditions to know whether the number is even or odd or prime numbers. Okay, and these are something related to the for loop. I think Tim, you are clear with the for loop now. And any doubts, something like that? So in the variant of for loop, you can also write a simple function like n equal to, if you want some multiplication of 10. So let's say n equal 10 for I in range of, in range of 11, print do n and comma I equal to comma in into I. What it will print now? If I run this line of code, what it will print exactly? Anyone, could you please tell me? What is this line of code exactly? And what it will print?
Ten table.
Exactly. So this is what, of course, here I need to mention from one comma. Okay, 10 into 1, 10, 10 into 2, 20. This is simple for loop. So we can do multiple use cases. So with the for loop, okay. But where in the for loop, so the main thing is that we need to mention the range from where to where you want to loop exactly. That is what the for loop finds out exactly. So here every time when I'm writing an for loop, generally I'm maintaining a constant something range or whatever it may be. Okay. From there only it will be looping all the elements. Okay. And when comes to the while loop, when comes to while loop is also a similar like we'll be using while loop to iterate over a block of code as long as the test expression is the true. So when it comes to for loop, so here we are having the range. We are defining the range in the for loop, saying that so where in the for loop, the for loop need to be iterative over the certain range, okay, over the certain number of elements in the list or tuple or dictionary, whatever it may be. Generally, we are defining in the for loop. When it comes to while loop, here we are not defining anything in the while loop. So what we are doing exactly, we are having the one test expression. If the test expression true, okay, then the loop will continues. If the test expression is false, then only the loop will be going to be end. So that is what will be going to happen in the while loop. The while loop, the while loop in Python is used to iterate over a block of code as long as the test expression is a true. So it will iterate to infinite times. If the test expression is true for much time, then it will loop for infinite times. That is what exactly. So the body of the loop is entered only if the test expression evaluate to true. And after one iteration, the test expression is checked again. The process continues until the test expression evaluates to value. So this is simple a while loop. If you ask me about the flowchart, the flowchart would be so we are starting the while loop and checking the condition is yes or no. If the condition is yes, it will go on executing the loop over the body of the statement. If the condition is false, it exit the loop. So this is general a while loop. Okay. So if I say that executing the looping the body, if the evaluation condition is true, it will be going to execute in the body. And once executed, going to the evaluation condition once again, it is how the file while loop works. And if you want to see some example, so saying that, so let's take here, I want to find a product of all numbers present in the list. So list LST is a variable has been assigned some list of elements called 10, 20, 30, 40, 60. And here I am defining product equal to 1 and index equal to 0. Here my while declared here, this is my the evaluation expression. My evaluation expression will be index less than length of list. Index is 0 initially and length of list 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 5. Nothing but we are having length is nothing but 5. So it generally runs from 0 to 4. And product, if you remember, this is my assignment operator. When it comes to assignment operator, is nothing but it assigns. the arithmetic operation itself. This in briefly, this is sorry. So what exactly this is? Product equal to product into LST index. This is how exactly it is been. So if you remember, LST nothing but your and list variable, index is nothing but so your zero value, and list of zero, what is the list of zero value?
10.
Exactly, super 10. So initially the product was 10, and of course I'm checking product equal to product 1 into 10 is nothing but 10 value. Initially the product is a 10. Finally I'll be what for each and every iteration I am adding the one value to the index. Initially the index value is 0. Now as per our assignment operator, so what exact it is? It is so index equal to index in place 1. Okay, as per this condition, 0 is my initial value, 0 plus 1. Now index became the 1 value. And now again, of course, as the condition has satisfied, as condition is true, again it was going for the evaluation operation. Now here my index value is 1. And again I will be checking my index value expression with the length of list. Now the length of list should be 5. So here it is satisfying, condition is satisfying. That is the reason again it was going for the iterative loop. So until the condition is not satisfied, at that time, until the condition is not satisfied, it continuously go for the loop. And finally, after some how many iterations, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, some pattern, of course, obviously index need to be more means obviously going for the 6 index. So after 6 index, so the function going to be breakdown, and the product would be finally I'll be getting this much value. Okay, so where I in the for loop, there we are simply defining the how much and what I need to iterate to exactly. But where I in the while condition, so the while condition will execute the while condition being executed iteratively until the evaluative expression is false. Okay,
Mm.
as long as the evaluation condition is true, my while condition complete iteratives until and unless if it's false, then only the loop will be exit. Sorry, it will exit the loop. So that is what. So of course, as how we are having the if and else condition, similarly we also have the while loop with the else condition. Okay, and of course while equal to true. So here just I want to say here I given the while equal true defined. So where is this? See here, the loop is continuously going to be running until my while is, of course, as my while is true. Okay, so the evaluate expression is a true is continuously looping forever. That is called infinite loop. So of course here I'll be stopping manually. Oh, my laptop got stuck. Here, exit pages. See, this is how sometimes we'll get. Uh, so if you want, of course, so we'll do one thing. So from the home page also, we'll get to know that what are the files are running. So based on that, go to the while loop and we open newly. while loop file once again. Mm. So sorry. Now we are discussing about what? Yeah. So as long as our expression is true, then the loop continuously iterates. That is what happened now exactly. So similarly, yeah, similarly here I'm having a list uh, variable numbers, having the list of variables 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, iterating over the list. Like here I'm trying to check what exactly whether if my condition is satisfied. So then you go on print the number of number of means the index values in the list. So that is what exactly is happening. And if you see here, again, see here. So I am doing the same while loop condition. So as long as the expression is true, it is giving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once the expression has looped out, it's simply giving the else statement, no item left in the list. And similarly, so counting from 1 to 3. So let's take counter equal to 1, and while counter less than or equal to 3, go on go on iterate the values. So here by making the counter plus 1 equal to 1, what I am doing for every iteration, I will be adding one value. This is how the counter is incrementing from 1 to 3. Once it was equal to 3 condition, and the loop has been what to say, exited. The loop got exit. So similarly, how we have the means where in the for loop also we did check the what to say, uh, whether the respective number is a prime number or not. So we did by using the for loop for the list for the range of numbers. Here also I'm doing the same thing. Here I'm asking user to enter some value. For that reason, I'm using input function. Input function will ask us to enter the value some, and will be converting that value into integer, and is division equal to false. Let's make everything clear. Here I'll be entering some value called 11. So if I enter 11 is a prime number. So from here you can say that in the very first time, of course I was defining I equal to, so I 2 less than num. So here my number is 11, means 2 less than 11. Of course, obviously this condition is true. And I was dividing this number. What is the number? 11 divided by 2. 11 divided by 2 double equal to 0. Yes, this condition is true. So that is the reason. So E is divisible by true, and printer is, this statement is printing here 11 is divisible by 2, as number equal to 11, I equal to 2. So this is what exactly happening. Okay, na? What you, as we are seeing the while loop condition. So as while loop is condition is expression is true, this condition is running. I think you got the point. Could you please confirm? Hello.
Yes, sir.
So this is how we'll be using a file while loop at the time of going for the checking any prime number or not. And similarly, a while statement count equal to 0, while count less than 9, the count is count. count equal to count plus 1, print goodbye. So what it will print now if I execute this line of code?
Mm, 0 to 9.
So
0 to 8.
yeah. So why 9 is not printing? Why? As you know that now, for example, in Python, the range would be starting from, for example, if the range is 9, if the value is 9, then range would be from 0 to 8. That is the reason.
Yes.
Okay. So that is the reason. And finally, once everything got executed successfully, it is printing the goodbye. Okay. So you may have a doubt. So where we are using, of course, when it comes to if and else conditions, like in banking fields, like checking the civil score, that is one of the example. In
Mm.
similarly, um, when it comes to for loop, so where why we are when we are using for loop means if I'm giving user a choice saying that you are having this many elements you can choose. For that top scenarios, I will be using the for loop. When comes to the while loop, so if I'm going for the iterative conditions like infinite iterative conditions, at the time I will be going for the while loop. So while loop, as we know that until unless the condition is satisfied, so the loop's continuously running. So whenever this condition satisfies, whenever this condition applies to any domain, at the time we'll be using the while loop. Okay. So similarly, next we'll be going for the one more control flow, that is break, continue, pause, and what else? Yeah, three: break, continue, and pause. So break, continue, and pause. Break is nothing more. For example, I'm having a for loop condition. Okay, let's take the for loop is having the values from 0 to 9, 0 to 9 range. And here I want to break my for loop condition or what it may be. For example, if my iterative value I equal to something 8, then I want to break my function. In that type of scenarios, I'll be going for the break. And for example, there are some of the scenarios I want to skip some of the elements. If I saying that if I equal to 5, continue. Continue means it will print all the elements from 0 to 9 except 5. Simply when we are trying to skip the current iteration and moves to the next one, we'll be using the continue. And pause. Pause does nothing. It's a placeholder for the code that is syntaxically required but not yet implemented. Simply pause nothing but I'm just passing the sequence. I'm just passing the iteration. Okay, I'm not doing any there. So if you want the flow chart, if the loop start like for loop start, I'm checking the condition. Like if I'm checking the if condition, uh, if the respect to like I equal to 5 something that, then the condition satisfied, then I'm breaking and exiting from the loop. If the condition is there is one more thing, continue. If continue, of course, if the condition is satisfied and if it is a continuous statement, I'm skipping to the next iteration. Okay. And if the condition satisfied and the next line is passed, then I will be not doing anything, just I'm passing or else executing the block complete. So I'll give you the break usage, how we are using the break for num in range of 1 comma 10. So it will be going to loop from exactly 1, 2, 3, 4. So what happened here? I gave one condition, if condition. If number equal to double equal to 5, print break the loop at number. I'm breaking the loop. Now you can see that number 1 got printed, 2 got printed, 3, 4 and printed. And once the condition has been satisfied, and after that we gave the break condition. So the condition has been break. Okay, na? So this is how we are using the break condition exactly. So in simple, in summary, why we are going for the break condition means There are some of the scenarios. If the scenario satisfies, I don't want to run the rest of the code. If that is the scenario, we'll be going for the break condition. And you have the continue also. So if you run this, so what it will be going to print exactly? Could you please anyone tell me? If I run this line of code, what it will be exactly going to print it?
The number 3 will be skipped and other numbers will be printed.
What would be the other numbers?
1,
1
2,
to 5. 1,
5,
4, 5.
1, 2, 4, 5,
Exactly 1, 2, 4, 5. Okay,
or
of
5.
course. I think you thought you may say 6, but it's fine not to. No one said. So we are simply skipping the number 3 and just will be printing the executing the rest of the uh, elements in the for loop. That is 1, 2, 4, and 5. So you may have a doubt. So where we'll be using the continue operation? There are some of the scenarios in our code also, like when comes to in our data science code, there are some of the scenarios. Certain functions I don't want to execute. I just want to skip the certain functions or the certain executions. Okay, for certain conditions. So at the time I don't want to execute those. Simply I want to skip the function. I don't want to interrupt my complete iteration. So in that type of scenarios, I'll be going for the continue function of the logic. Okay. So similarly, pause. And in generally, there are some other scenarios saying that uh, 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 just now I gave you one if else condition. Just I want to give here one example here. See here, I was trying to make this as a one. So what it will print here, if I run this line of code, what it will print? If I run this line of code, what it will try to print exactly?
It will not print anything.
Exactly. Why? Because we are simply pausing. As the condition is not satisfied, obviously this block of code won't be executed, and finally it will be going for the else condition. Whereas in else condition, we are simply pausing the block of code, so nothing will be going to print it. For example, even if I write something like print, will it print or not?
Now it will print.
Of course, it's doing nothing. Simply, it's doing nothing. That is what I was trying to say. So that is in some of the scenarios. That is what we need exactly. So you no need to do any execution. Just simply pass it. You no need to do anything. Okay. So that is what is the pass usage. When it comes to the combined usage, like this is one of the combined usage code for num in range of 1 comma 8. If number equal to 2, double equal to 2. Of course, just I want to ask you, what is the difference between the double equal to and equal to?
Equal to will assign the value and double equal to will compare the values.
Super, super. So when it comes to double equal to, we'll show you a equal 10. So 10 value is assigned to the a variable. That is what exactly. And a double equal to 10. What it exactly? So simply as you told that if I want to check whether the two variables is same or not. Okay. For comparison purpose, we'll be using the double equal to. Double equal to is a assigned operator. Checking with respect to the same or checking with the other. Okay. So if you see here, I'm checking num equal to 2 or not. I'm checking that. If num equal to 2, then pass. Elif num equal to 4, print skipping. Of course, I'm trying to skip the what you say number 4. Elif num equal to 6. I'm breaking the statement. So this is how, and in generally up to 2, of course, we are passing the 2. 1, 2, 3 will be going to be printed, and 4 will be going to skip, and 5 will be going to be printed, and at the time of 6, the statement will be going to be break. Okay, so this is how what happened exactly. So this is how we will be going to use the conditions like break, pause, continue as per our convenience in our code. And there is one more thing I want to highlight. So try, except, and Python. So this is also one of the method in Python. So the thing is that the simple I want to let you know about the definition. Try and except blocks are used for exception handling in Python. Try code that might raise an error, except code to handle the error gracefully. And the syntax would be try risky code that might throw an error, except code to handle the error. So in generally, what is the 1 divided by 0 value?
Error.
Exactly. So I think there is no nothing 1 divided by the error itself. You run this, you'll be getting the error. So in order to handle this type of errors, okay, there are some of the scenarios while I was trying to execute the code. So let's take I'm having the 10 blocks of code. Okay, so it runs in a sequential manner. It runs in a sequential manner. But my thing is that if anything failures, okay, just it need to be escape from there. Just it need to be except from there. Okay, I don't want to disturb the rest of others. Run already run others. So at the time, simply I'll going for the except saying that zero division error. If I run this line of code, simply it will be giving the you can't divide by zero. Okay, I'm simply logically uh, I'm just what to say uh, writing some code here. If the code raise any error, and in order to cover the error, I'm using the except as a handler. By using the except handler, I'm making the things to be run gracefully without means to handle any types of errors will be using the try and except. So if you go for the flowchart, so try blocks runs whatever the code we are having the try and except. Here we'll be having the block of code, and here also we'll be having the block of code. So here my try is try to run the the lines of code whatever it may be in the try block. Okay, if everything was fine, then no nothing, no need to worry. But if it throws error, try block runs, errors occurs in try. If S except block runs, if no, there would be continuous execution. This is how the try and except will run. Simply, so if we're in the try blocks, if all the code runs executed successfully, means if everything goes fine, and if there was no error, in simple words, if there was no error in the try block, the all the rest of the code and there would be continuous execution in the code. But if we find any error in the code, then it will be going for the except condition in the except block. So where in the except block, so we'll be trying to uh, making the except block to run, and as per the statements in the except block, it will be going to printed or executed. So a simple example, result equal to 10 by 0. As if you run this, you'll be get a obviously error. In order to handle this type of error, you are making the except condition, and here the your error is a true, going for the except condition and making the and running the block command in the except block. Similarly, num equal to int of abc. Of course, we can't convert the strings into a number. So cannot convert string into error. So simply I raising the value error. Okay. So try num equal to int 1 2 3. Same, it is a int 1 2 3, and except value error occurred. And so here, by of course, here it was not printed. We are not able to convert the into, so string into the int. Here also it is a string. So how can we are able to convert it into list format? So into format. Of course, this is a string. As
Mm.
we know that the group of characters present in a double quotes or single quotes would be a string. It is a string and it is a string. Both are string, and it is not executing, but it's got executing. How come possible? How come it is possible? Why? Because whereas string is nothing but the group of Unicode values, the group of Unicode alphabets, whatever. That is what exactly a string. Here we are having the 1 2 3. So 1 2 3 values. So that is how we are able to convert the string into a into format. And if I am able to print also 1 2 3, this runs no matter what exactly. And here I want to exceptionally mention one more condition called finally. Finally, nothing but irrespective of the try result and irrespective of the accept results, finally result will be got printed. Okay, na? So here I was generally, as it is not throwing any error, it need to be printed. But I'm making one more condition finally, respect to the try and accept, the finally also will be got printed. Okay, na? So you may have a doubt. Of course, here I know that there would be having the getting a value error. Here I would be going to get the zero division error, but I don't know what error going to be. I'll be going to get. So how can I trace the error? In that type of scenario, you need to mention the except exception as a E. If you make the except exception as a E instead of having the exact error value, if you make this condition, it will print you the what the error was exactly. Okay. So caught an error name unique defined variable is not defined. This variable, of course, how can it's possible? X is my variable. This is also seems to be a variable. How can I assign? Uh, this is not a value. First of all, if I want to assign any value to a variable, it need to be in a format. It is a variable, undefined variable. That is, it is not defined anywhere, and that is the reason it is throwing an error called undefined variable is not defined. So I think you understand the trend except also, if I'm correct. So this is how we'll be using the control flow statements and everything in our code scenarios. And this is how we'll be using if and else condition, for loop, and while loop, everything. I think Tim, you got the things now. What
Yes,
exactly?
yes, yes.
So maybe today I'll be going to be share you the two IPython notebooks. So one is having from the 1 to 5, which I told you about which I told you some of the things from keywords to the operators is having in one notebook, and the rest of the things from if else to the try and accept will be in a one notebook, and I'll be going to give to you guys. Please have a look and have some homework. If everything goes fine, please try to pass it to me so that I can go for the evaluation. And where I in the assignment 2 notebook is having about the what exactly a flow and error handling, of course, if and else conditions, and while loop condition example, for loop thing, and break and continue, and pause, try and accept. Of course, what I'm trying to say, so just make a IPython notebook for your scenario also, and try to uh, try to work out there, so that if you work out in a real time scenario like in the real time Jupyter notebook, you will be getting more and more exposure to the code. And if you go on practicing the code, and you'll be get habituated, and it will be very familiar to you. So moreover, I'll be going to share with you these two IPython notebooks. And meanwhile, please drop your mail IDs in the group chat, so that I can share you directly through mail also.